Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to talk about Genesis 4, verse 6. And the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? And why has your countenance fallen?" At first glance, this verse seems like a question, but in the Zohar and Midrash, it is a divine intervention, an act of heavenly compassion. Despite Cain's misaligned heart and rising jealousy, God initiates dialogue. This is not judgment, but invitation. God seeks to awaken Cain's inner awareness before sin manifests. It is the voice of the supernal Father reaching into the brewing storm of the soul. The first phrase we have, "And the Lord said to Cain," the descent of mercy. The very fact that God speaks to Cain is a sign of incredible mercy. In Kabbalah, when the soul begins to darken, the Shekinah withdraws. Yet here, divine speech descends even into Cain's fallen state. Though light had fled from his face, the voice still reached for him from within. God's voice here is that of a bina, understanding, a spiritual probing that seeks to awaken teshuvah, return. Even after rejection, Cain is not cast out. He is still invited to dialogue with heaven. Midrash Bereshit portrays this as God acting like a loving teacher. Rather than punish Cain outright, God asks questions to provoke introspection. As with Adam in Genesis 3, "Where are you?" These questions are not for information, but for awakening. Next, we have the phrase, "Why are you angry?" The mirror of motive. The question, "Why are you angry?" is not rhetorical. It is a mirror aimed to reflect back the true cause of Cain's fury. In truth, Cain's anger is not about Abel, but about his own misalignment. He who burns is he who knows he has fallen, but seeks to blame the righteous. Kabbalistically, anger arises when din, judgment, is unchecked by kasadim, mercy. God's question gently challenges Cain to balance his inner forces, to recognize that his rage is not justified but rooted in pride. The Midrash suggests that Cain assumed God would explain himself, but instead God redirects the question, "Why are you angry?" This forces Cain to turn inward, revealing that the problem lies not in God or Abel, but in his own motive. Next, we have the phrase, "And why has your countenance fallen?" Descent of the inner light. In Kabbalah, the face symbolizes the soul's orientation toward divine light. When Cain's face falls, it signifies his soul withdrawing from alignment. God's question is an attempt to hold the descent. "Lift your face, and your soul will follow. Turn not downward, lest you awaken the other side." The Zohar warns that a fallen face is not merely sadness, it is spiritual danger. It opens a gate to the other side, where resentment festers into sin. The Midrash likens a fallen face to a spoiled offering. The external reveals the internal. God's question invites Cain to rise above emotional reaction and return to clarity. Some Midrashim say God was saying, "Your face shows what's in your heart. If you are not accepted now, improve your ways, and you will be." The Kabbalistic psychology behind the verse is the last door before sin. Zoharic mysticism treats this verse as the spiritual moment before sin solidifies. Cain stands at a threshold. If he hears this divine call, he may correct his path. If he ignores it, he will plunge into murder and spiritual exile. God's question, therefore, is not just compassionate, it is urgent. It is a lifeline extended from the upper worlds to a darkening soul. To summarize, Genesis 4 verse 6 is not a simple question. According to both the Zohar and the Midrash, it is a profound act of divine mercy, attempting to save Cain from himself. The phrase, "and the Lord said to Cain," the Zohar sees this as Binah's voice descending into darkness, reaching Cain even after his rejection. The Midrash compares God to a gentle teacher, asking, not condemning. The phrase, "Why are you angry?" God holds a mirror to Cain's rage. The Zohar says this anger stems from ego and imbalance, not from justice. The Midrash sees this as a prompt for reflection, not argument. The phrase, "and why has your countenance fallen?" A fallen face in Kabbalah reflects disconnection from the divine. God is calling Cain to lift his gaze, to return his soul upward before he sinks into bitterness. The Midrash teaches one's face reveals the truth of the heart. This verse reveals a timeless truth. Even in failure, heaven speaks. Even in rejection, the soul is called back. Even when ego burns, a question from God may yet awaken repentance. Cain stood at a spiritual crossroad. God's question was the last gentle knock before the gate of sin swung open. That's it for today. Thank you very much for your donation. Be blessed, everyone, and I will see you on the next episode.